Is Hamas a terrorist group?
Definitely not. And I can tell you why. First of all, let me just quickly tell you who I am and where I'm from.
Yeah.
I'm Tunisian, originally from Tunisia. I'm a British, originally from Tunisia, and I'm Sunni. Yeah. And I do not stand for any Shia or Sunni sort of like propaganda or ideology. I'm completely separate.
No, Khalid, sorry, you're going off the subject, and I don't like that, despite what Eleanor whispers to me in my ear. No, Khalid, stick to the subject. Why do you not think Hamas is a terrorist group?
Right. Hamas is a resistance movement funded by Iran, which everybody knows that, and I'm not going to deny it, because those guys...
You said it's what? A resistance group?
It's a resistant movement against Israel.
So do they kill Jewish civilians?
Of Palestine.
Do they deliberately target Jewish civilians?
Obviously, they don't have enough technology to hit the exact target as a military target. They do rockets here and there.
Here and there.
Sorry, I don't know what
Khalid, they throw rockets here and there.
Civilians. Israel is a terrorist state killing civilians. We shouldn't really...
Oh, where's he gone? Have we lost him? Khalid, don't go anywhere. We're listening to you.
I'm here.
Yeah, okay. So Hamas throws rockets here and there. Israel's the real terrorist state. And it's only because they don't have the technology they have to kill a few babies.
No, I didn't. I'm not saying you have to kill babies or you have to kill the
I didn't say
civilians.
You're saying. I'm saying Hamas is saying it, and you're defending Hamas.
No, I'm defending the resistant movement of Hamas based on those people. They've been occupied since the 1947 by an Israeli state, which...
So Gandhi was occupied by Britain. He didn't go around murdering British babies, did he?
Oh, come on.
How is it okay in your mind, whatever political grievance you have against any other political entity, to kill civilians, including children?
I am against killing civilians, including children, from the side of Israel or the side of Hamas.
Okay. Point to me the specific law. Point to me the specific Israeli law or policy that targets Palestinian children and civilians.
We all know, Maajid. We all see in the news. We all see...
No, Khalid, that is not what I asked you, because that is not an answer. We don't all know. I'm personally speaking to you. I don't know that Israel deliberately targets civilians, so I'm asking you to prove it. Point to me to the specific law or policy officially adopted by the Israeli state where they target civilians.
It's no law.
Okay, there is no law. Now I'm going to point you to the specific policy of Hamas. You've just admitted there is no law on the Israeli side. Hamas's founding charter contains all of the evidence that you need to demonstrate that they directly target Israeli civilians. In fact, they want to wipe Israel off the map. Now, Qaradawi, who I'm sure you've heard of, Sheikh Qaradawi, who's a Muslim Brotherhood cleric based in Qatar, who provides all the fatwas to Hamas that they need, has specifically issued a fatwa saying that it's okay to kill Israeli civilians because they're all military. Everyone in Israel is a military occupier, therefore you can kill any of them. He said he issued the same fatwa about Iraq when the British occupation of Iraq happened. I'm less fussed about that if you're... I'm fussed about it, but less so if you're only targeting military targets, because that's conventional war. But the fatwa he issued for Hamas was that you could target Israeli civilians. Now, Khalid, how on earth can you justify that? And how do you not think that's terrorism?
I don't justify that. I would say this is an individual statement. It isn't...
no, it's a fatwa, Khalid.
It doesn't explain...
Khalid, it's a fatwa. You know, don't try and fool the listeners. You know what a fatwa is, because you're an Arab Muslim.
I do know what fatwa is.
And you know who Qaradawi is, don't you? And Khalid, you know who Sheikh Qaradawi is, don't you?
What comes from an imam.
Khalid, who is Sheikh Qaradawi?
Who's...
Sheikh Qaradawi, who is he?
Yeah. I don't believe in him.
No, who is he? I didn't say you believe in him. I'm asking you who he is.
Well, he's an imam. He's an imam. Is he originally from Egypt?
He's an Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood cleric, isn't he?
Right, yes.
Yes, based in Qatar, yes?
He's an extremist. He's an extremist.
Right, and that extremist gave a fatwa to Hamas saying it's okay to kill Israeli civilians. I asked you...
Nobody listened to him. Hamas is completely separate. He's not a Hamas leader, is he?
Hamas doesn't kill Israeli civilians?
Listen, Maajid, you're just moving from a subject to subject. He is not a Hamas leader. You can't, by making that statement...
Okay, Khalid, let me explain something for you. Hamas is a branch of the Muslim Brotherhood in Gaza. Qaradawi is a Muslim Brotherhood cleric. The Muslim Brotherhood Egyptian cleric, which is where the Muslim Brotherhood is founded, and he's Egyptian, gave a fatwa to their branch in Gaza, which is Hamas, that it's okay to kill Israeli civilians. The reason I'm explaining all of this for you is because you said Israel does that. I asked you to point to the specific law where Israel does that. You said you can't. I then pointed to the specific fatwa, because for Hamas a fatwa is law. Even you would have to accept that, where Hamas relies on the specific fatwa to kill Israeli civilians. So now we have a situation here. Hamas admits to killing Israeli civilians. Israel doesn't have a law that justifies killing Palestinian civilians. So therefore, Hamas is a terrorist group. Israel may be many things, but isn't directly targeting Palestinian civilians. Do you concede that point, Khalid?
Maajid, Hamas defending themselves. They've been occupied for years and years.
That's not what I asked you. If you're not going to do me the courtesy of answering my question, I'm going to move on. Hamas kills civilians. Do you condemn that?
I condemn that, and I condemn anybody who's killing civilians.
Yeah, that's not an answer. Of course, that's like when we used to ask Jeremy Corbyn, do you condemn anti-Semitism? I condemn all forms of racism. Don't think us foolish, Khalid. We know exactly what you're doing there.